Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day to start things off. XRP is currently in the process of posting a notable rally that has allowed it to outperform Bitcoin and most other major cryptocurrencies, with the embattled tokens bulls attempting to catalyze some much needed upwards momentum. This has allowed the crypto to erase what one analyst is calling months of underperformance, although the long-term significance of this upswing still remains unclear. It is important to note that there are a few fundamental factors that could hold some sway over XRP's near-term price action, including rising transaction counts and some shakeups when it comes to those who will be utilizing Ripple's cross-border remittance services. It's no secret that XRP has been one of the worst performing major cryptocurrencies throughout both 2019 and the beginning of 2020, with the crypto posting a sizable yearly decline of over 40% in 2019, while setting fresh post-2017 lows just a week ago when it dropped below 10 cents. At the moment, the wider cryptocurrency market is in green. For some reason, there seems to be no news at the very moment as to why this is happening. XRP is up higher than all of them. I think even last night I saw around an 8 or 9% rise, somewhere around there. Nothing seems to be, at least at the moment, explaining exactly why XRP is up in price. However, it appears, of course, like it is trying to go up higher and is trying to test 20 cents to see if it can actually get there. I assume no, I have no idea. I don't know what could be the actual catalyst for it. And I mean that as far as we've seen before in the past, no matter how good the news is for XRP's price usually doesn't react. Maybe like a couple of weeks later, maybe there's some type of a partner somewhere that has just been acquired that someone else knows about. Who knows exactly what it could be? Or it could simply be that as one of the worst performing coins, the potential upside for the coin. Remember I mentioned before, it's a lot more likely for altcoins if one is at 2 cents for it to go back to 20 cents as opposed to Bitcoin going from 6,000 to 60,000. So a lot of the upside is probably just there. Maybe it's just the place to kind of get extra money at the moment. Anyway, XRP, the entire market is up, but XRP at the moment is the highest up in comparison to other coins. Next up, for most altcoins, the past couple of weeks weren't necessarily the best. However, after enduring a harrowing mid-March, it looks like their fortunes may be beginning to reverse. While their present price action is far from where most altcoins were at the start of the year, recent price surges have come as a welcome change over the past few days. Cryptocurrencies such as Monero, VeChain, and Tezos have all once again recorded critical gains. Amongst the altcoins that surged in the past week, in price over the last week, one of the biggest winners was Monero. The cryptocurrency has cemented itself in the domain of privacy-focused coins, and it continues to go on an impressive run, registering an over 50% increase in price just in the past 7 days. Monero saw its trading rise from $34 to $53 at press time. XMR was trading at around $50 at the time of writing. Monero had a market cap of that's not really that super important. VeChain is also up, like I just said, as well as Tezos. I even saw an article before this as well. I think Monero is, up 90% from some other point. I can't remember exactly when it was, when all the other coins were slamming down. For some reason, Monero has been gaining a small percentage every day, every other day. Who knows the exact frequency, but Monero is actually doing pretty well price-wise. Once again, no Monero news, no upgrade news that I can potentially think of, no word on integration. I doubt that Monero or Dash or Zcash are going to be integrated into anything anytime soon, as they do have private transactions. So maybe it's just something behind the scenes, something happening that maybe the developers know about. Maybe there's, I don't know, how often do you think crypto buybacks happen? I feel like it would happen fairly often, as far as like people buying their own coin in an attempt to raise the price. Not saying that that's what's happening, but it's more like there's been no Monero news, so one can, I guess, only speculate at this point. I think a lot of people are wary isn't the word. I think people are over the price that the fact that prices keep falling, or that a lot of coins do seem very low. So I think it is a bit easier right now, especially maybe even with lower trading volume that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, as a lot of people have become relatively afraid in anything speculative money-wise, that it may just simply be easier for these coins to move up higher in price with lower volume and maybe the same level of buying interest. Anyway, we'll see exactly how this ends up going on. The stock markets, I think, also did relatively well over the last day or two after the stimulus package was given the thumbs up. But according to Bloomberg and Fortune and many other places, their articles say that a lot of investors think that this could be a dead cat bounce, i.e. the price goes up, but it's dead, so it falls back down. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. It is Friday, so I give it to the weekend. I give it to around Sunday to see exactly where things are going to go. I mean, especially, we've seen some good days on Sundays for the cryptocurrency market. We've also seen days where Sundays we get a lot of news about the stock futures and exactly how they're performing, so that may once again scare the cryptocurrency market and or cause whales to simply sell because they are whales. Yeah. Bitcoin in the crypto market witnessed a small bounce as long with the stock market's traders began to form bullish sentiments around price. Despite the bearish fear and sell-off due to current world events, the stock markets also witnessed an historic rise yesterday, with the SPX index rising by 6.4%. However, many investors, many investors suspect, dead cat bounce. At the state of the economy is far from recovered at the moment. A lot of analysts are saying that the effects of at least 3-point-something million people just within the U.S. Being jobless and or trying to claim jobless benefits, along with the other structural changes that will come from this, because you have to once again keep in mind a lot of the companies that have been closing down, the people who are trying to get unemployment, those companies won't be opening back up after all of this. Like the companies over the last 2 months have completely gone broke. They have no money left, so those companies are gone. So a lot more jobs are expected to be lost, and this is why it's always very important. I hope this is a wake-up call for many people to have some type of an emergency fund, like an actual emergency fund. I've been telling friends and family members for quite a while, you should have anywhere from 6 to 12 months worth of your living expenses. That is not an entire paycheck. That's more so if your paycheck is roughly, let's say a random number, $5,000, and your monthly expenses are $2,000, you should have that sitting in another bank account at least 6 times, if not 12 times, in case of an event like this, because for some reason people think that the good times will roll on forever, and they don't. They never ever do. So off of that topic, prices are up. The stock market is also slightly up, but I don't expect the stock market to really do anything anytime soon, especially if you pay attention to all the economic policies that a lot of governments are trying to implement, and none of them are working, and stocks around the world are still going down. So, I mean, we'll see, but it's not looking too good for the world's economy at the moment. Next up in Y news, the U.S. Department of Justice has charged Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and 14 other officials of narco-terrorism, corruption, drug trafficking, and other criminal charges. U.S. Attorney General William Barr announced a series of direct charges against the president and the main leaders of the Venezuelan regime. I'm not reading all the names, among a series of others rewards for their captures. The officials have been accused of using cryptocurrency for trafficking and other criminal activities. And the reason why I said why, there are a couple of other more pressing things happening in the world right now. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you've turned on the news. There's one thing that's a bit more important, but for some reason they decided to do this in the in the midst of everything. And I wholeheartedly believe they could have started this bounty in about 3 to 4 weeks when things might start getting back to normal. No, but it had to be right now. The U.S. Department of Justice in a statement said that they are offering $15 million for information leading to the arrest or conviction of the president and up to $10 million for other officials. The formal accusation claims Superintendent of Cryptocurrencies Jose Lit Ramirez worked with that name to provide private flight services for the benefit of the president in 2018, which violated the OFAC's sanctions. A special agent in charge of the Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, claimed that the government of Venezuela has been using the cryptocurrencies to carry out their activities of trafficking, money laundering, and activities associated with terrorism. Anthony General Barr said that the Venezuelan regime wants to have corruption. This news, for some reason, is everywhere. You can even see this little photo that somebody took the time to make. I feel like, priorities. Like I feel like there are just tons of other things that could potentially be done right now, but this seems to be the focus. And I can only assume, this is just a heavy assumption, this is probably the main cause of it, because we've seen, this is just from what I've seen, growing up on this planet. We've seen levels of corruption and stuff like that before in many other places, but I think when the corruption can't accurately be tracked because of cryptocurrency, I think that probably completely sets them off. So sure, it was going to happen eventually. If you think this wasn't going to happen, you are not living on the same earth that I am. But just priorities. I feel like going on a manhunt while all this is going on probably isn't the best idea. But sure, why not? Let's sure. I'm not going to say anymore because priorities. Anyway, that's happening. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, here's my favorite one. The president of Brazilian Banking, or the Brazilian Banking Federation, Murilo Portugal, has argued that cryptocurrencies are not really currencies at all. Portugal was speaking in a debate about the impact of the digital revolution on the financial system at the non-profit think tank, the Fernando Henrique Cardoso Foundation. Wow. The debate examined the impact of new technologies on financial services, including blockchain, cryptocurrency, big data, artificial intelligence, and fintech. Portugal argued that cryptocurrencies do not fulfill any of the classic functions of the currency and said that they are not a unit of account or a means of exchange or a store of value. He said, and I do quoteth, they are actually called coins, but they are not coins, which is why it is cryptocurrency. They do not fill any of the classic functions of a currency, which is to serve as a unit of account where people can express prices. They do not serve as a means of payment or as a store of value because the volatility is very high. Such wise words. Portugal is a respected figure in the financial world. He has a degree in economic development from Cambridge and has served as an executive director of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. Oh, okay, there we go. That explains a lot of it. Working for the World Bank and the IMF, they control worldwide monetary policies, so they're probably not going to like something that's out of their purview. And I will say this is not against this particular individual. I don't know him. I'm probably never going to know him. I don't think I want to know him. I've known a lot of people with economic degrees, sociology degrees, a lot of people who've done 6, 7, 8 years in university. And they are some of the dimmest people I've ever met in my entire life. Just because you have a degree does not make you more vastly intelligent than other people. Like, you may be very smart in one area, but that does not make you a wizard. I saw this floating around as well on multiple other websites, stating that cryptocurrency was terrible. Cryptocurrency is a failure. the Brazilian banking chief, and I kept on skipping over it, and I was like, oh, fine. So I clicked on one of the tabs and I started reading what he was actually saying, and I was like, oh, okay, that none of it is based in real logic. It's simply I think the tabs would say it a bit better. When you type in the word Brazil on Google, some of the first things that pop up, for those of you not looking at the screen, this is a BBC News article that says, "What's gone wrong with Brazil's economy?" This was posted last May. This one says, "The worst economic crises in Brazilian history." This was posted also last year. And this one says, "Update number 2, the Brazilian central bank slashes their economic growth forecast to 0%. So I feel like a lot of times, a lot of people tend to worry about what's going wrong with things outside of their borders when they probably should. Like, why is there such a fascination? Well, I know why there's such a fascination. I was going to say, the point I was going to say was, why is there such a fascination with cryptocurrencies amongst these world leaders and banking members who should logically, like one would assume during an economic crisis, you'd probably pay a little bit more attention to what's going on within your own country, within your own dirt ground beneath your feet, to make sure that the people in your country are doing well, as opposed to trying to belittle something that you probably just don't completely understand. But then I figured it out. It's because the economic situation in the world is collapsing. They've realized that the things that they've been doing for a very long time have finally caught up with them, because you can't just print. First of all, even the news that we get about world leaders right now printing trillions of dollars, this isn't the first time that they've done that. Like, I'm not even talking about 2008. Like, they continuously print money every single year at will. And this is why, if you've never seen any like documentaries on like banking cartels and how they actually like do this, like, it's all just a click of a button. Like, debt and money are created on computers right now. This is why the transition to any type of digital dollar wouldn't be that far-fetched. It's very easy to simply type in a couple of numbers, tell a bank to create a certain amount of debt, because they don't actually have to hold that money in their reserves. Like you know, the old movies, like with the really big metal door and they're turning things, that's all very, very much passé. It's all on computers now. And all it really takes is there's so many situations where you can hit a button, create a certain amount of money, buy up an asset with it, and simply, usually gold, and they usually take that gold and they store it in another country or in a mountain somewhere. It's nonsense. So while I appreciate the opinion of those who are not in the cryptocurrency space, I like to hear what they have to say. They're usually all completely incorrect, and especially if you've been in the cryptocurrency space for at least 4 to 5 years, and even if you've been here for a year and you stick around, you'll see a lot of the stuff that we even hear right now in about 5 years, you're going to roll your eyes at, because it's all complete nonsense, especially when your country is already going through a major economic. Your country was going through a major economic crisis before the recession happened. So I think it's time to reevaluate things and kind of make sure that you get stuff under control, because there's also a huge amount of poverty in Brazil. And I've heard crime also isn't too friendly as well. So anyway, Brazil has slashed their economic growth forecast is 0% from 2.2% where they thought it was going to be. And I assume that's going to go into negative territory relatively quick. I give it to around April or May. We'll probably be discussing this once again. Anyway, crypto's fine. It's just that I believe that people within the banking system, it took them a while, but they understand what's happening, so not much more can be done than that. Let's move on. At the same exact time, first of all, this article is riddled with Voldemort, and what's happening right now is I've seen a couple of articles the last couple of days about this. In Venezuela, a lot of banks have been shut down, and the other articles I was reading, there was one, it was written very oddly, but it was also I don't know how I keep finding these articles from non-crypto friendly websites. It was like cryptocurrency isn't a store of value. It's a way to buy milk, or something. I forgot how the article was titled. It was something along that lines. What's been happening is, of course, as the last couple of weeks have gone on, banks have been shut down. A lot of other things have been shut down within Venezuela as a way to kind of curb what's going on. And as such, people have been looking for alternative methods to be able to buy things. And local Bitcoins has experienced a rise of over 3 million in just 2 weeks. We usually don't. First of all, their local fiat paper currency is already garbage. So when people, I remember there was another video where I mentioned that people within Venezuela, I think the last spike that we saw was around like $1.2 million over the course of a week. And somebody was like, that's not a lot of money. It's like, yeah, it is. If you like, there were people who were actually doing like the actual math of it. You could take a jar of sand from a beach and it's valued more than an entire pillowcase of their money. So when $1 million in comparison to that is quite a lot. So people within the country have actually, they were doing this before, but they've chosen to try and start using cryptocurrencies as an actual means of payment. And the article that I was reading and the other articles that I was seeing was pretty much like, no one's buying crypto to hold it as a store of value. And it's like, yeah, why would they? They need to eat. I also, if I had nothing to eat and I had a couple of Satoshis, I would definitely be going outside to try and get some food. Anyway, we're seeing this happening a lot around the world. It is becoming a major issue. I do like the fact, and I hope that this does continue, I like that there's a way around it. Little U-turn, if you will. The fact that people are, just the fact that there are probably millions of people right now during this economic downturn, or even in general before we had this recession, who were able to mine, gather, buy, sell, trade crypto to be able to feed themselves and their family is incredible. Because imagine if we didn't have Bitcoin. They would actually have no way. I think, and that's probably something that will never ever be mentioned in the news either. The current economic situation and the economic situations that we've been seeing over the last couple of years have all been due to fiat currencies, government printed currencies, especially with a lot of people around the world not having direct access to these services. So imagine if we didn't have Bitcoin, imagine if we didn't have crypto, and this current economic situation right now from this day, even from the last 2 years, because a lot of other countries have also been buckling under the pressure, had been happening. We'd probably have a situation where there'd be tens of millions, if not a lot more millions of people in the world who couldn't even eat. But that won't enter the news that cryptocurrency is actually allowing these people to eat, because cryptocurrency is supposed to be something evil. Anyway, tying almost, once again directly, because you can tell the current world situation is absolute garbage, tying directly almost into this. In Lebanon right now, for those of you not looking at the screen, there is a photo of a bank and it's graffitied all over. If you have a chance, or have the chance, you go on YouTube and find, rather like open a new tab and type in like Lebanon Bank or Lebanon Banks, or I think I saw like a mini news piece from Vice. So type in Lebanon Bank Vice. You'll definitely see something within the last like week. It is bad. It is very, very bad. It is incredibly, incredibly bad. Their country started going through an economic crisis, I think about a year or two ago. Part of the problem is that their country decided to, we spoke about this about a month ago. Their country actively decided to default on their loans, and people were like, why in the world would you try and do that? They have no money. They have they're broke. They're broke. And the issue is that the money that is currently sitting inside of banks, like from all, so imagine, so all the citizens who are currently within the country, let's say all their money's in a bank. That money, all of that money in all the banks is not enough to even put a dent in the actual debt that the government has to pay back, and the government itself is broke. That's crazy. So the issue is that they keep, it says, tightening their monetary controls. And when we spoke about this last time, I think the daily, no. I think it was the monthly rate or weekly rate that you could take out of your bank account was, I think, $800 per week. But they said, we have to slow it down a little tiny bit. You can take out money from your accounts, but not too much. And then I think that got pushed down to, I think like 400 per week, and then 200. It's now $100 per week. And if for those of you who were not here during the other thing, I was talking about my friend who I was having dinner with, and she was telling me about the situation in Lebanon. This was about a good month and a half ago. She said that she knew someone, this guy who had fled from his other country, and where he was living in Lebanon, he had become relatively rich. He had a couple $1 million equivalent to what he had inside the bank. And one day he woke up and found out that he couldn't take any of his money out of the bank. Like, he was allowed to take out 800, I think, per week. And he looked at them like, no, I have to buy something. They were like, no, sorry, we can't. So even when I spoke to her, I think it was around $200 or $300 per week. Can you imagine? And he's realistically probably never going to get this money back again. Ever. Because when you are already in a terrible monetary situation and the world drops into a recession, that man's money is probably gone. The money that he worked his entire life to get has been completely, not even wiped away. It's just being held on a screen somewhere, and someone's saying that he can't do it. You can't make bank transfers. You can't go. This is why I said to watch the little news piece from Vice. They were walking around the city. Every single bank, every single ATM is shattered. People have completely destroyed them. People have put red paint over them. There's no money inside of any ATM. You cannot take any money out. It's nuts. It's nuts to think about that. If you want to put it this way, I always, when I was younger, around the year, like let's say 2003, 2004, 2005, I consider the year 2020 to be the future. If you look around, we have drones, we have robots, we have self-driving cars, we have all this other stuff. We are basically in the future. We are in a time period where things could be so much easier for everyone. And we have it like this is almost like Hunger Games-esque, if you kind of want to look at it. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And the easy answer is Bitcoin solves this. But for these people, there's really no chance. Like, they can't even take out the money or transfer money from their bank accounts to put it into Bitcoin. This is why I hope, and I know it's not going to happen to the fullest extent that it needs to happen, that people around the world really get it. That people go, that could happen here as well. Because so many people tend to think that economic policies like this won't happen to them. They've happened before. Remember, in 2008, 2009, I remember seeing the videos on YouTube and stuff like that as well. There were armed guards standing outside of U.S. banks because people were trying to overrun the banks. They were trying to go there to get their money out of it, out of fear. And they were told one at a time, you only one person can go and one person can go in. And then at some point, there were armed guards saying that nobody could go inside. Don't think it's happened. It's happened in the States. Don't think that this can't happen in your country as well. And I'm pretty sure in a lot of places it's going to happen. And once again, Bitcoin solves this. I don't even care if it's XRP or Ether. Cryptocurrencies mitigate this entire situation by allowing people, like, imagine if people within that country, within Lebanon, had over the last year or two, even just accumulated like a quarter of a Bitcoin each for themselves. They'd be able to transact back and forth. It's very sad to think about. So, it's a very dramatic turn of events as to what's happening around the world. I don't know. If you feel like you're in a country where you feel like something like this could also happen to you, you know how you have like an emergency fund? Have an emergency fund of crypto. Because this is not going to get better anytime soon. Like, tomorrow, someone's not going to come clean all of this off and like the gates are going to open up. That's probably not going to happen for a very long time. Anyway, can you imagine only like, how do you pay your rent? How do you do anything? You can take out 100 per week. How do you survive? Like, can you imagine if it was you and your wife and you had 3 kids? What are you going to do? Anyway, yeah, that's the situation in Brazil, Venezuela, Lebanon, and about 15 other countries I can't even name off the top of my head at the moment. But yeah. I mean, it's so whenever we get news stories about other countries who have when we see like spikes in their volume on local Bitcoins or any other local apps and stuff like that, it makes me very happy because it lets me know that at least they're trying to prepare. because man. Let's move on. And to kind of finish things off in true Coinbase fashion, crypto exchange giant Coinbase is giving its users a new way to earn interest on their cryptocurrency with the integration of decentralized financial apps into the platform's digital wallet. Coinbase Wallet users can now directly access DeFi services like Compound, Inditex, DYDX to lend their cryptocurrency assets for interest. With the new integration, Coinbase says users can now compare the different rates of different providers, invest their crypto assets, as well as monitor balances and interest they earned, all using their wallet and without opening a web browser. Wow. They say with this new lending experience, you're just a few steps away from putting your money to work. Pick a coin to lend, pick a smart contract, and you enter the amount you wish to lend. Your crypto is then deployed directly to the smart contract to earn interest. Coinbase says DeFi lending currently supports Ethereum, an Ethereum-based token wrapped Bitcoin, which is pegged 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. Other ERC20 tokens include USD Coin, DAI, BAT, Algor, and 0x. And the greatest part is, lenders can earn interest rates ranging from 0.03%, I didn't read that incorrectly, 0.03% to 4.17% annually, depending on the coin and contract. If there's any coin that gets you 0.03%, dump that coin right now. Even banks, I assume numbers have changed, but before the crisis, there were many banks that even offered around a good 0.15%. So somebody offering you 0.03 is just having a laugh, and they're trying to, that's nothing. That is dirt. That is dirt and a half. That's not even money. The annual rate of inflation is anywhere between 2 to 3%. You are losing money by lending that coin. Even 4%. We've seen other websites that do anywhere from a good 6 to 8%. I mean, that 8% won't be able to last forever, but you still get a year worth of 8%. So it looks like Coinbase is sticking their head further into the lending crypto interest thing, I guess, as they are now through their app, wallet, digital platform, you can get more. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like the idea of this. I'm probably within the next year or two probably going to choose a platform for this. I have a very strong feeling Coinbase will probably have Ether, what's it called? Staking. Ether staking on their platform as well, as the people from Coinbase we've gone over before really like Ether. So I think that'll also be pretty cool as well. Alternative ways to make money within the cryptocurrency market, especially passively, will be a big hit. But I like to give Coinbase a hard time. I just don't care for them. I think they're a little bland. Anyway, yeah, so they now apparently, if you are looking to earn 0.03% on your money, go to Coinbase's platform's wallet and Compound DYDX and assets for, you get the point. So there's another thing. Like I said, I assume they're going to be adding more of these as time goes on. I want to see what the interest rate for Ethereum will be. And heaven help them if the interest rate on Ethereum is like 6 or 7%, and then they still take 25% as a fee. Oh, Coinbase. Yeah, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Hold on. I have to sneeze. Crayola Michelle, URL, On Crypto with Lionel, Tigara Macho Nisa, Bake Me a Cake, Arfmedic 17, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bodie McBoatface, Yes to Crypto, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Minting Coins, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Anthony Charles, Nick Mangialavori, Paxis, Crypto Beer Shipmate, Vlad the Impaler, Richie Rich, The Third, Nick Kanaya, Setsuna Damien, Nicholas Rennerth, One Piece, One Love, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Mill Wheezy, Adobo, Bankroll Network, Crypto Joe, 242 to the World, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Brady Niels, Master Ventures in Thailand, Moham Aroni, Adam Graysick, Todd Mullis, Barebones Mining, a Bibliophobia, the Animal Reader, John Stars and Mr. Pickles, Nostromo, John Gorsica, Chongololo, Songololo, Martin Steuer, Joshua Vineyard, Moonman High, XRP, Yasha Harari. Some of these rhyme when I read them backwards. It's kind of weird. And Professor Wally from Gun Bot University. Thank you all very, very much for your support. And thank you to everyone out there who is a member of the channel. At the moment, the cryptocurrency market is it's green-esque. It's a light green. Bitcoin is currently up by 1%. Ether is currently up by 1.25%. XRP is up by 6.24%. As I mentioned, ooh, Binance Coin. Binance Coin is just a smidge past XRP. Who knows why? Binance Coin usually does well when there's no Binance news. Kind of is what it is. And yeah, there was another one that was going up like crazy. It was Maker. It was Maker's up by 20.96%. It's nice to see that there are still opportunities to make money within the cryptocurrency space, even when prices are going down. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for the news today. VeChain Thor is also up. What was the VeChain Thor news? It was the what was the news that we had? It was the it was just that they were up. I guess that was the news for them. Algorand. Yeah, we'll see exactly what ends up happening during the rest of the week. It's going to get rough before it gets calm again, or before it gets crazy price-wise. I am trying my best every day to hold back my excitement because I'm so optimistic for the future. I think it annoys some people. Like I'm about I'm at an 8.7 out of 10 as far as like optimism. Like I'm pretty high up there. Like I don't think what's happening now will last forever. You know, negative times don't continue forever. We've all had negative times before. They're all in the past. We don't have them right now. And if you do have them, I'm going to tell you it's going to pass at some point. So I fully expect not only the stock market to eventually recover, like by the time it's 2022, we will be like, oh yeah, I remember that 2 years ago. I think everything will be good in the long term. Just right now, it's a little choppy. So I think my optimism for the future, the fact that I've been able to accumulate more assets when prices have been down. There's even some websites where I was buying art from. They were having like 20 to 30% sales, and I was like, ooh, the economy's rough. But I got some really cheap art, which is really good. I got some, I'll tell you, I got some Banksy stuff. Yeah. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all continue to have, try to have yourself a good day, a good morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Hope you enjoy your Friday. I know you can't really go outside, but there's apparently, I just learned this. I don't know if I mentioned this in another video. You can apparently like sync up Netflix accounts with like a friend. So you can, I mean, we're in the future. You can like video chat your friend on your tablet, set it up against something, and sync your Netflix with them so you both can watch the same movie at the exact same time and on the tablet as if you're in the same room. Sounds a bit creepy, but I mean, it's the future, so we can do these things, and that's how it's just kind of going to be. Anyway, thank you all once again. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.